He went from gaming's most trusted voice to its most controversial figure. This is how Jason Hall, known as PirateSoftware, destroyed his own credibility through ego and denial.
I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
That exchange with Dr. K revealed everything. If even a licensed psychiatrist couldn't get through to him, that's not just denial anymore. That's a serious problem. For years, Thor had built his reputation on two pillars: his alleged technical expertise from working at Blizzard Entertainment and his ability to break down complex gaming industry issues for his audience. Millions of viewers trusted his judgment. They believed he was different from other content creators. But success has a way of revealing who someone really is, and what came out wasn't what anyone expected. The first real warning signs appeared during what should have been a normal stream. In early 2025, Thor was participating in a hardcore World of Warcraft Classic run with friends, a months-long commitment where a single death could erase all progress. During a crucial fight, he made a call that got the whole team finished.
Yeah. Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking?
This
Look
is
at my mana.
savage, but come on, man.
Normally, you'd expect an apology, maybe a joke to lighten the mood. But instead, Thor dug in and doubled down.
You can't blame me for that shit. You make a bad poll, you make a bad call, that's on you. What the hell am I supposed to do for that? Not on me. Not at all.
He avoided taking responsibility and even mocked the idea that he should feel any guilt for erasing months of his friend's work.
Wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage.
Well, it also highlighted how large and fragile his ego is. People were already noticing how much of a narcissist he was before. Now people are completely aware. The gaming community started to notice a troubling inability to accept responsibility for anything that went wrong. But if the World of Warcraft incident was a warning sign, what happened next was impossible to ignore. In late 2023, Ubisoft announced they were shutting down servers for The Crew, meaning even single-player owners would lose access to their purchased game. This sparked the Stop Killing Games initiative, led by Ross Scott from Accursed Farms. The petition aimed to force companies to keep games playable after shutdown, requiring 1 million signatures across the EU. When Thor discovered the petition in August 2024, instead of supporting what seemed like an obvious consumer rights cause, he launched into a vicious attack.
Oh shit, no, this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is It's Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
But worse than the tone was the fact that Thor clearly misunderstood what the initiative was even about.
That is a horrible goddamn direction. That's awful, dude. No. Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move.
His usual analytical approach was gone, replaced by pure defensiveness and fury. In a later stream, he was even more blunt.
I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
His massive audience trusted his expertise. Many who might have signed the petition decided not to, based entirely on Thor's misrepresentation of its purpose. When Ross Scott released a detailed video in June 2025 exposing how Thor had spread misinformation, the response was explosive. Major creators like Moist Critical, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie rallied behind the initiative, suddenly making Thor the villain of the story.
His ego is so out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Public reaction was immediate and unusually intense. PirateSoftware is like a stupid onion. The more you peel back, the more eye-watering the stupidity. Thor's subscriber count dropped in significant numbers, over 230,000 on YouTube and more than 100,000 on Twitch. Any other creator would have taken this as a signal to reassess, but Thor saw it as proof that he was right and everyone else was wrong. As his audience continued to leave, others began scrutinizing his broader public image. Thor had built his reputation in part on his programming background, frequently referencing his time at Blizzard and positioning himself as an authority on game development. He had been particularly harsh in his criticism of other developers' work, especially Undertale.
Undertale is made by Toby Fox. Undertale is a brilliant goddamn game. It's very good. It's also coded like shit. And that's fine. If you look at the decompiles that people have done of Undertale, you'll find that there are rooms that have hundreds of if statements checking the same value.
The criticism was highly technical, delivered with the authority of a professional developer. When someone publicly critiques others' work this harshly, their own code is expected to meet a high standard. In this case, it did not. On July 7th, 2025, YouTuber Coding Jesus decided to review Heartbound's code in a video titled, "I Reviewed PirateSoftware's Code." Oh boy.
Imagine removing all these comments. Would you, as a newly added game developer to his game project, have any idea that one is showing? You would have no idea. This would never ever be allowed in a production repository, and like I've been hinting, it's below what you'd expect of a bottom tier intern.
What Coding Jesus found was shocking. The code was poorly organized, full of inconsistent formatting, and lacking basic documentation. The developer, who spent years criticizing others, had written code that wouldn't pass a basic college course.
Not only doesn't make sense, but leads me to believe that he's doing this specifically for the ad revenue.
But when the questions got more technical, something became clear. Thor's answers showed gaps in his knowledge. In one case, he claimed Game Maker Studio didn't support Boolean data types, factually wrong and easily verifiable.
Data types are not defined in Game Maker. You cannot define a Boolean. You can use 0, 1 or true, false at will. It doesn't do anything. None of this matters in this language.
The programming community responded quickly. PirateSoftware is absolutely the type of person to ignore the documentation and later blame the devs of Game Maker and make a video about it when his game does not work anymore after an update. But if the code review shattered his technical credibility, what came next would destroy even his authenticity. On July 5th, 2025, a Twitter user named Guy made a serious allegation PirateSoftware had accidentally exposed Discord messages showing him working with a moderator to manipulate his record-breaking Twitch hype train from April 2024. A hype train is a Twitch feature that activates when streamers receive large amounts of donations quickly. The longer it runs, the higher it levels, creating excitement and encouraging more donations. Thor's April 2024 hype train had reached level 105, making headlines across the gaming community and helped position him as one of the platform's top creators. If the accusation was true, the achievement was fake. The evidence was difficult to dismiss. Screenshots showed Thor and his lead moderator Kronos discussing how to keep the hype train going using an alternate account. Alright, let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. Bits rather than tier 3 subs. Have you bought any yet? I've done 100 tier 1 subs on my personal. Ready to do 40 tier 3 subs on an alt. What is the alt account? Serendipitous Bean. The chat showed detailed planning about which donation method would cost less, which account to use, and how to keep it from being noticed. When someone found the deleted Twitch VOD showing Thor's reaction to accidentally revealing these messages on stream, his panic was obvious.
I wished I could place my head between them and go full burr mode and make...
What? What is this? Where is it? I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message. God damn it, click. Click your garbage machine. What? Who are you? Why are you like this? Number 420. Deleted.
He immediately switched chats and deleted the evidence, but by then, it had already been seen and documented by viewers. Thor later claimed that Kronos had made the donation voluntarily and had not been reimbursed.
That's against TOS, though? No, it is not against TOS. It is absolutely not against TOS to have somebody use their own money to buy subs and bits for the channel if they want to. That in no way was triggered by me, nor was he compensated for that or reimbursed for it. That is not against TOS. So it's a joke.
But more details emerged that made this defense increasingly hollow. The fake account Serendipitous Bean had sent a message claiming to be an in-real-life friend of Kronos, who was excited that they are now free from corporate. The message praised Thor's authenticity and included a request to tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards. Thor's reaction to the donation was just as fake, pretending it came from a real viewer, not his own moderator trying to keep the hype train going.
Serendipitous Bean with 50,000 bits said IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate.
I'm sorry you had to know Kronos in real life just like me.
But the most damaging account came from someone who had known Thor offline. In an interview with Quinn Theo, Cynthia Hall, a former Blizzard colleague and former roommate, described a version of Thor that conflicted sharply with the image he had built online.
He would just kind of create a character and idle in the client and then read Reddit. That's literally what he did. He sat in front of me and I was assigning the tasks. So not only did I see the work he was not doing, I saw what he was doing instead.
Cynthia recalled multiple incidents of unprofessional behavior.
He was very neglectful of actual work. He was hard to rein in. He was hard to get to focus on anything important. Like, he wanted to do what he wanted to do.
Even worse were stories of his behavior toward colleagues. During charity gaming events,
He was just yelling across the floor at everybody.
It's a charity event, correct?
It was a children's charity event.
she claimed his presence at Blizzard was protected only by his father's position in the company.
I talked to the manager over the project, and I was essentially told that no one is going to do anything because of who he is. It does not look good on your future at Blizzard if you mess with an executive's son.
When Thor eventually moved out of Cynthia's apartment, what she found in his room was disturbing.
There was, like, I don't know what on the walls in his bedroom, and you're just gonna have to, like, take my word for this. I don't know if it was snot or something else, just like wiped here and there on the walls, and more of the like random gray stuff, just spots and things.
The internet trusted him, but once that trust broke, there was no coming back.